Welcome to our new show produced by the Rotary Club. It is called Service Above Self, and our hope is to periodically highlight an organization in North Andover for about 20-minute segment, and then for the final 10 minutes of the show to highlight upcoming events that are put on by the North Andover Rotary Club. I am very happy to introduce our very first guest is Kim Hurst from the North Andover Music Association. Kim, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
So I'm going to just ask you some questions about the Music Association. And first of all, can you tell us about your organization?
Sure. The North Andover Music Association is a parent-run organization, and our mission is to support a positive experience for all the students in the North Andover School District in the Department of Music. We provide uniforms and volunteer hours and financial contributions, and we advocate for the importance of music education. We also facilitate parent-student involvement. We offer chances for our students to be recognized and chances for our students to perform as well. So we are basically your booster club for music in North Andover, if you want to think of us that way.
That's a good analogy. That helps. Yeah. And if a parent were to want to get involved, what is the commitment? What are the possibilities?
So we have a lot of opportunities for involvement because there's so many different musical engagement that the students can have. So our board is made up of 14 people, and we meet once a month for about an hour and a half on usually the second Tuesday of the month. And that's where we basically review all of the different opportunities we have to help and talk about our budgets and talk about our upcoming events. So, you know, we have a very robust board of 14 people, but there are many other ways to get involved if you're a parent of a child in the music department. And everyone at some point or another is that parent, because we have elementary school music educators. In the middle school, every single child either is in chorus or band at some point. And in the high school, we have about 280 kids that are in the program, which is about 20% of the students in the high school. So there are plenty of parents out there that can be involved, and there's plenty of things for them to be involved in.
My understanding is that the group has grown.
Yes, it has grown. The level of commitment and what we've supported has grown as well. When I got involved about 4 years ago as a freshman parent, we were basically, we did a lot of support for the band at the high school, because there's a lot of work to be done when you have a band of over 100 kids. I got involved just getting the t-shirts ready for the band that first year because we needed some help with that. Now we've expanded to actually look at our mission, and our mission being to support the entire school district. Not only do we help the band and its very ambitious show and the great year we have planned, and I can tell you about that later, but we also make sure the chorus program, the choral program at the high school is outfitted. A few years ago, all the chorus students had to buy their own dresses, and they all were different shades of black. And now every chorus student has the same exact dress, and we happily purchase them all for them. Every chorus male has a tux or a vest, and we happily buy all those. So our program looks professional, and which matches the professionalism of our musicians. We have almost an unparalleled program in our district. We're very proud of it, and we want to be the face of North Andover. So we want to look good. So we make sure all of our high school students are well uniformed. But then we started thinking about our other 5 schools or 6 schools in the district, and we got a request last year about November saying, you know, the middle school could use a piano. The piano that they had was kind of an upright home piano. It would have been great in somebody's home. But for the 300 students a day or week that would go through the program, it was not adequate. So they asked if maybe we could help out. And the timeline was about 2 years. We figured, okay, it's about $11,000 baby grand piano. If the school department can put in $1,000 a year, and if we can do a couple events, maybe in 2 years we'll get that piano for those entire middle school program. And about 4.5 months later, we had the $11,000 to buy them the piano, and it was there by the end of the 3rd trimester last year. So coming from a few years ago where we could only handle the band because there wasn't enough support. Now we've decided, you know what? We believe in North Andover. We believe in the community and the volunteerism here, that we'll tackle those tougher problems and those tougher things. So. And then at the end of the year, we got even more ambitious and said, well, you know what? We have elementary students too. Why don't we make sure all of their programs are well appreciated? So we emailed all of the band directors in the elementaries, and one of them came to our car wash that we were running and described what she needed and how long she had been trying to get it from her school. And we delivered that equipment over the summer to the Thompson School. So it was some new percussion equipment and a new rug for them, and she just very, very pleased. So I believe our organization is set up so that we can help whatever music project is out there. And I'm very, very, very proud of it.
Well, it makes sense, because if you're investing in the elementary level, when those kids rise up, they're better prepared and more likely to be involved at the high school level. So it's kind of a built-in feeder, right? Yeah. So wonderful. And you said you got involved, you started out selling T-shirts, and you're very involved now, and I can actually testify to the fact this woman is an Energizer bunny, and my daughter is in the band. So I know how much you do, Kim. So if you can just tell us about your role and maybe...
well, I have two roles on the board. One of them is as the treasurer. So I think my spreadsheet right now is about 400 lines long of just this fall taking checks from the kids for T-shirts and shoes and gloves and jackets. And and membership donations. We do get those as well. We don't just, there's no money tree. We actually have to work to get the money. So I do a lot of work just, being a governmental entity, making sure that we are a 501c3 and that everybody who gives us donations gets thanked, and so there's that part. I've also taken on the role of the NESBA coordinator. What's NESBA? NESBA is...
What is NESBA?
What is NESBA? And so NESBA is the New England Scholastic Band Association, and it is it's an organization that runs competitions for the band. Our music students, when you get to high school, you start competing. Either if you're in chorus, you can compete at choral competitions, and we always get gold medals in those. And if you're in the band, you can go to band competitions. And every year, North Andover hosts a band competition. We recently had one. 15 bands, marching bands, showed up. There were over 1,100 students, just musicians, just 1,100 students performing at our school in one day. Their parents, a lot of their parents came, bought some concessions, bought some 50/50s. So that one day of NESBA is where we make the majority of our fundraising for the year. Or it's a big chunk of our fundraising. What's great about that day is not only there are 1,100 musicians, we also have our volunteers. So on that day, 108 volunteers showed up and either helped park cars or do concessions or sell 50/50s, or there were many students. The chorus students support their band friends by helping other band members come through our building and make it their way to the start line. So at the end of the night, you have the 1,100 performers, the 108 volunteers, the 200 or so band directors, band staff, and the 800 people in the stands. And what happens is all the bands that are there get recognized with either how many gold or silver or bronze, how well they performed. They get some recognition, and then all the kids storm the field. So it is just an amazing event, and I coordinate that with Martin McGrath, who is the president of the Music Association. And it's been our third year, and the next day I started thinking about, well, what can we do better next year? So it's a very, very fun day, so look at your calendars next year. First weekend in October, probably, you'll see the signs up on the lawn saying we're hosting a NESBA competition. So.
Yeah, it's a huge undertaking, and I tip my hat to you and Martin and all the other members of the board for pulling that together, because logistically, it's just a big challenge, but you guys, you pulled it off, and I know you have to be prepared for an outdoor event
or an indoor
event.
It rained for us this year, so we had to come indoors.
Right.
But it was still, and what I love about it is that our organization not only do we ask for the help and get the help, you also become friends with the people that you're working with. So I feel like we are really an organization that's a lot of colleagues, a lot of friendships are formed, and a lot of bonds are built. It's happening on the field with the students. It's happening when the kids are singing together. They're getting bonds. So it's nice to also become friends with the parents, have their bonds as well.
It is a great group of people, and there's a very positive synergy that goes on. And I like that you said that you know, you can get involved in little ways or big ways. You don't have to be a Kim Hurst.
No.
And
in fact, tonight at the football game, there is a, we should talk a little bit about the band show this year. There's about 140 kids on the field. And this year we decided to be very ambitious because we have so much help. And the show itself includes 6 large shelving units that get pushed onto the field by volunteers, and a couple of panels of artwork, and set changes and costume changes. And all of the work that was put on the field that has to do with the details, and I won't say none of the learning and teaching, none of that wasn't done by any of the parents. The band directors and the techs, they all helped the kids learn, but we made sure they looked good. We had their uniforms were done by the parents. The shelving units were done by parents. The parents moved the shelving units on and moved the shelving units off. And that is a 15-minute commitment. To help move that shelf from the band room to the football field takes about 15 minutes. And we need 12 parents to do that. And I think it's fun when you're standing out there with those parents and they're freshman parents, and they're like, so this is it? This is all you needed our help for? Yeah, this is all this year. We've got you.
Just bring them in a little bit, but
quietly. So, and then we remembered. So next year I remember, hey, you moved that shelf. Hey, this year can you help do this? Or do you think you can help us maybe take a leadership position in this other part of our organization?
Right. Well, and there's no pressure. I mean, you can, if you can only give a little bit of time, that's fine, you know. But if somebody does want to get more involved, there's absolutely plenty of opportunity to do so. That's great. So you have some current projects coming up. Do you want to talk about?
So we have, I guess tonight this is the big night, is a football game, and it's a traditional that we invite the 8th grade band and the 8th and then the middle school chorus to our school to join our band and our chorus. So the Music Association sponsors this event by giving pizza to the kids and making sure they're all chaperoned and they're all taken care of. So I think I did a little bit of numbers, and I think I guessed that there's going to be nearly 450 to 475 of our music students.
That's fabulous.
On the field before the game, because the band itself is 140, the 8th grade band is 120, the chorus is 190, the middle school chorus is 70. If you add all that up, I think there's a couple of kids that do band and chorus in both the middle school and the high school, but about 10% of our student population will be on the field today. So that's our next big event.
Well, and I have to say that I think inviting the 8th graders onto the field is a key move, and that is actually what drew my daughter in, because the students in middle school that are in the music program, they have to decide whether they're going to continue in high school, and a lot of kids, you know, any commitment in high school is a bigger commitment, and some of them will choose not to, but you get them out on that field during the halftime show, the bright lights, and it's just, it's an amazing night. And I know that for some kids that absolutely tips the balance.
And the kids are having fun in the stands, so it does make it. So after tonight, our next big thing, I would have to say, is tomorrow we're in competition with the marching band. And that goes on for another week of competitions, and the kids have made such great strides. If you haven't had a chance to come to a football game or a competition and see the choreography of 140 people that are on the field, huffing and puffing, playing an instrument while doing, I almost call it rhythmic gymnastics, some of them. It looks like rhythmic gymnastics with an instrument. I don't know how they do it, but they do. So that's happening. And then further along down the year, our entire music program in the high school is going to Los Angeles. They were invited because, based on some competition earlier this spring, to perform at the Heritage Festival of Gold, because our 4 ensembles all got gold medals. in Virginia.
Amazing.
Which was, I don't think it happens. It just doesn't happen. So when it does, you just make it, you have to go big. So I think last count, about 240 of the students have chosen to go to LA in March, where they will compete, well, more like an exhibition with all these other gold medal winning bands and choruses. And I think there's still a little bit of a, you still find out how you rank, but it's not as much of a competition as it is an exhibition. So we'll support that as best we can with financial dollars and to make sure they all look good when they're out there. So that's very exciting for the whole program.
And I think for the students, it's a huge motivation too. You've been invited to this big event,
Yep.
And
you earned it.
You've earned it, exactly.
You didn't just
right.
You
You've
didn't
earned
sign
it.
up. You earned it.
But so you have this goal that you're still working towards.
And I know a lot of kids went out and got jobs over the summer to help make sure they could do that. So
right.
my son included. So
yeah. Well, and I think this is a good time to give congratulations to Miss Sarah Durkin, Mr. Justin Smalley, Mr. Inos, and Mr. Nelson at the middle school, because they are absolutely involved in all of this, and all the techs that help work with our students. And it's no easy job getting to that point where you get invited to.
And to think about, there's just 2 music educators at this high school, and they're bringing 240 kids. Imagine, just wow, they're just very talented individuals. So supporting them is really why we're around, to make sure they can, in order for them to be able to get to that level, they have to have some help. So that's what we want to do. We want to make sure that they're supported every way they can be.
No, it's clear we have a top-notch music program here in North Andover, and I have to say that having been to several of the band competitions and attending the concert choir events, there's one in the winter and one in the spring. The chorus concert in the winter, I remember one year I went, and it was professional quality, I might say, and it was really, I was in tears. It was just so beautiful and so well done. And then watching the marching band out on that field, like you said, they have to learn their places and walk in formation, and
it's quite a commitment for everybody.
It is a huge commitment. It's a huge commitment for the kids, but it also becomes their social life too, right? It's very bonding. Like we were talking about for the parents that are part of North Andover Music Association is bonding, but absolutely for the kids. I mean, this is what you're doing. So any anecdotes you want to share? Anything that kind of brings us to?
I think that I might have said a little earlier that at the end of the day, whether it be the end of the spring concert when seniors are given their pins for each of the program, the accumulation of their entire music career, that's a pretty emotional night for people who have made that commitment throughout the years, but also just the end of every competition or every event when the kids are all together waiting for their scores, waiting for their medal placement, and then hearing when they get a gold medal or hearing when they've won top caption. That's why it keeps me coming back. Seeing the kids and their achievement and supporting them is very powerful, and I'm glad that we're doing it at the high school level. I'm glad we're doing it at the middle school level. We're sending the kids out to Great East Festival, which is something they do in the middle school, and I'm glad to know that we're just helping those elementary students get their footing so that we can continue to support the program.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'll share with you. We hosted an exchange student last year, and she attended North Andover High School for the year. And we were thinking, okay, we would like her to get involved in something that would immediately connect her with other students and give her, somewhere to go, be, and immediately the music program. So she joined the chorus, and she also joined the color guard and the marching band. And she's back home now in Peru, but she will tell you that those were the 2 big things that just really made her year extra special. So, and we knew that we were plugging her into a really good group of kids, and it was fabulous. Fabulous. So, Kim, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for all you do for the North Andover
you're welcome.
Music Association. And you know you have to stay like on the board for.
Yes,
you
I
know.
do have a third grader.
We have you for a few more years, right?
I have
Yes.
a third grader, so it's going to be a while.
Great.
And I've already made sure, just telling her which instrument you're going to pick up. You can be in the color guard too, but you have to pick up an instrument, and you'll be singing.
So, and of course, we welcome any parents
Yes,
that want to get
yes,
involved.
yes.
And how should they get in touch with you?
Well, we have a website. It's www.northandovermusic.org. So from there, we have our contact information and all the events and schedules and all the other stuff is right there.
Awesome. Kim Hurst, thank you again.
Thank you.
We appreciate your being here.
Okay.
And I'm Kim Reardon, I'm your host, and we look forward to seeing you for the next one. Coming up is our segment highlighting the Rotary Club of North Andover. Stay tuned. So I'm here now with Mike Pansavoy, who is the current president of North Andover Rotary Club. Thank you, Mike, for speaking with me. And so we just had the weekly Rotary meeting, and there was a lot of discussion. You have a couple of events and fundraisers coming up, so we want to get to that for sure. But first of all, for our viewers, if you could just tell us a little bit about the North Andover Rotary Club, just give us a basic understanding of what you're all about.
Well, thank you. North Andover Rotary Club got chartered in 2002, and here we are, 2016, 14 years later, and the club is not a large club, but very active, and so we call it a small and mighty Rotary Club in North Andover, and we concentrate on two things. First, we like to do local things, and that is our scholarship, and so we do the fundraising for the scholarship awards to the civically minded high school students here in town. And the other one is international, and we like to support the Shelter Box, which is a program that helps victims of disasters worldwide, and that is a very effective program because one shelter box, and it costs $1,000, will send a tent and provisions, all packaged in one box, that will keep 8 people sustained in shelter and food for 2 weeks. And I think it's and delivered within 24 hours when the event strikes. So anywhere in the world. And I think it's something that our club likes to support and gives us a chance to participate in things like that on international level. And again, on the local level, it's our high school students who are civically minded, and we do the fundraising for the scholarships. So that is our primary purpose.
Those are both wonderful causes and wonderful endeavors. I can tell you that I actually saw one of the shelters set up at a demo one time, and it's incredible how much a family can do and exist out of one of those. So
right, it's
excellent.
Amazing how much they can pack into one box. Once you take it out, it's almost impossible to put it back in unless you know what you're doing.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly. So one of the first things that you wanted to talk about this evening was about the calendar fundraiser that you have going on. You want to give us a little?
We have a calendar all printed and ready to go, and I will show it right here on the set. This is our 2017 calendar. We call it a community calendar because all of the pictures are provided by the volunteers from North Andover, and they submit it, and we package it together with sponsors. So every month has a sponsor, and we sell the calendars for anywhere $10 to $15, depending on other civic organizations participating in the fundraiser. Mm-hmm. And all of these proceeds are going 100%. We don't take any money for ourselves. 100% of the fundraisers dollars go to scholarships and other charity works in town and elsewhere, as I mentioned before. And that is the distinction of Rotary, that all of the fundraiser dollars go to work. None of that goes to administrative. It's all volunteer effort. And we'd like to support the community and the community at large worldwide. So this is our first fundraiser.
That's wonderful. And we don't have time to show every page, but I can attest to the fact that the photos are stunning. And anybody that likes to hike at Stevens Estate or around Lake Cochicowick, strolling along Academy Road, you'll recognize these places, the old town center, Beautiful, beautiful, stunning
Yes,
photos.
yes.
Would make great Christmas presents.
Yes, it definitely
Yes,
would. Yes,
exactly.
absolutely.
And so these will be available. Can we talk about where they'll be for sale?
Well, they're currently available, and they are available at the TV station. And if anybody wants one, they can email the station, and we'll definitely provide it to the person who wants it. And we, again, want people to know we are here, and we have the calendar ready, and it will make a nice present, or just for their own personal use.
Exactly, yeah. So we will be providing the email address for NCAM, North Andover Cable Access, so that will be showing up magically. So if you do want to find out how to get the calendars, or just stop in at the studio at North Andover High School, you can pick it up there. So
And always North Andover Rotary website. If you Google that, then you can send us an email, and we'll get the calendar to you.
excellent,
So
excellent.
That would be the first step to start.
Sure. So that's a calendar, and then I understand you have a big event coming up, which is
We do.
kind of unique. You want to talk about this?
Yes, the ski season is about to arrive, and we have a Warren Miller movie, which is a rite of passage for skiers into a new season. And on December 10th, it's a Saturday at 7 o'clock at the high school. We will be showing the new Warren Miller movie, and we, of course, haven't seen it yet. Everybody's waiting and excited because apparently they do a fantastic job filming some extraordinary skiing. And again, a lot of fans are waiting for this, so we are excited about showing this movie right here in North Andover.
Okay.
the high
So you kind of alluded to what the Warren Miller movies are. Assume that someone here doesn't know exactly what the Warren Miller movie is. Can you give a little more detail about it? Because when I first heard of it, I didn't really know what it was. But then when you mentioned where they film
Yes.
these, now I know what you're talking about. So if you could enlighten our
The best
viewers.
place, of course, is on Warren Miller website, and they do have links to their previous movies, and they do have current excerpts from what they're working on. So I know a lot of people who are skiers get really interested and excited about what they get to see on their website. So I recommend people check it out. And starting November 7th, our own event will be featured on their website as well. And I look forward to meeting all those skiers here right in North Andover.
So it's extreme skiing,
It
backcountry.
can be. We don't know
hella-
exactly what they have on tap this
Okay.
year, but yes, they
Past ones, yeah.
basically it's a 90-minute show, and they provide all kinds of exciting skiing for everybody. So it covers a lot of different aspects of the sport.
So people that are in the know, this is a very
Yes,
popular event.
It's a
so
very popular event. People always like to see their latest movie because, first of all, you don't know what you're going to see, and it is uplifting and exciting, and it's a rite of passage into the new skiing season, and people really say, hey, now we can go skiing. People get enthused and uplifted and fired up.
And our understanding is that it's kind of a coup to be able to have this movie shown here in North Andover. We are able to have it at the North Andover High School Auditorium, which
Right.
is 800 seats.
Yes.
But our understanding is that they will sell out quickly because
Yes, they usually
yeah.
sell out, and it's not just because it's the movie, but the incentive is tremendous. You also get a free Sugar Push lift ticket, which usually sells somewhere between $75 and $95. And for the cost of the movie of $15, you get
A
to see the new
chance.
show,
Yeah.
plus a ticket to Sugar Bush Resort.
A
So-
chance to win a ticket?
No, you actually
Oh,
do
you will
get it.
actually
Yeah,
get,
with the
so
purchase.
everyone will get
Yes.
a ticket. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
This season, we are giving away a free ticket with purchase.
excellent deal.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
It's a great deal.
And again, where could people get the tickets for this event?
The
And
CAM
when?
is the first place to start, or email us at northandoverrotary.org.
Okay, all right. And I think you mentioned this, if people want to see a sample of the Warren Miller movies,
Yes.
you can go to their website and
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah, they have a good choice of clips to see. It's
Excellent.
a nice, they do a good job with filming and presenting it. So
Okay.
I think it's a good place to start.
All right. So again, just to reiterate, if you're interested in tickets for the Warren Miller movie, you can either go to North Andover Cable Access at the high school, or as Mike said, contact North Andover Rotary.
Yes,
So,
that'd be great.
am I missing anything?
No, I think this is fantastic.
Okay.
This really addresses it to the point.
Great.
And,
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
We'll see you
Appreciate
again
it.
soon, I hope.
All right.